If you're a true meat lover, you can practically taste that perfect, buttery steak as you approach the meat counter. But not every cut you see is worthy of your dinner plate. Fresh meat doesn't come cheap, so picking the wrong one can be a costly mistake. In fact, choosing the right cut is often the hardest part of preparing meat. Your goal should be to find a cut that's flavorful, with the right balance of fat and protein to ensure it's tender and juicy. However, despite their popularity, some common cuts may fall short when it comes to texture and taste. So take your time and pick wisely. Your taste buds and wallet will thank you. How can you make the right choice? In a revealing interview with Mashed, a butcher from a national grocery chain since 2013 shared which meats to avoid. Surprisingly, some of the most expensive, eye-catching cuts aren't actually the best for grilling. Even if they're labeled grass-fed or tender, not every piece of meat is worth your time or money.
I call this turf and turf. It's a 16-ounce T-bone and a 24-ounce porterhouse.
Pre-marinated or pre-seasoned meat seems convenient for busy schedules, but it's often overpriced. According to the butcher, these ready-to-cook options aren't worth the extra cost. Instead, he recommends a smarter approach. Pick out your meat option, look for something on sale, and then ask your butcher what their favorite seasoning or marinade is that they sell in the store. Marinating your own meat may feel like extra work, but pre-marinated options are often overdone, resulting in mushy texture. Likewise, avoid pre-assembled kebabs. They rarely feature interesting produce. The butcher suggests instead, I would recommend asking your butcher to cube the meat for you. If you make them yourself, you can add other options like mushrooms, pineapple, and cherry tomatoes. This lets you personalize your kebabs with your favorite fruits and veggies. Plus, it saves you from the hefty 60% markup on pre-made kits. Surprisingly, the butcher also recommended skipping the fillet, saying instead, I know fillet is typically known as an optimal cut of meat and traditionally priced for it too, but it's pretty overrated when compared to other beef cuts. I would recommend purchasing a cut like Terra's Major, which is also a lean and tender cut, but about 1/3 of the price. Can't find that perfect cut at your local store? Try a New York strip steak instead. It offers a great balance of flavor and tenderness. When shopping for chicken, steer clear of water-chilled varieties, advises the butcher, as they tend to be less flavorful and often soaked with excess water. It absorbs some of the water which evaporates when cooking, resulting in smaller and potentially rubbery chicken. Most grocery store chicken is chilled by being submerged in a vat of chlorinated water, causing the meat to absorb extra water. If the packaging doesn't specify air-chilled, it's probably been water-chilled. Water-chilled chicken tends to have a less desirable texture and flavor. Chef Doug Saltis from RPM Steak in Chicago told Bloomberg that this method not only affects the chicken's taste, but also impacts how it cooks, often resulting in a soggy, less flavorful dish. To avoid this, look for air-chilled options or choose another source for better quality poultry. While preparing the bird, if you do choose to brine the bird, air-chilled will allow you to absorb great flavors and aromatics, whereas water-chilled has already absorbed chlorine. When shopping for poultry, look for labels that say, no antibiotics. This is key. Avoid settling for just no added hormones, as that's required by the USDA. Also, check for the USDA organic label to ensure the chickens were raised without genetic modification.